Alrighty, wonderful. So,
Would you like to
well,
start?
should I start?
It's up to you. I don't care.
Um, all right. Wizards of the Coast,
We back, part three,
and hopefully the final part of this, because
bro.
Wizards of the Coast has officially walked it back.
Well, hold on. Wasn't it like they're walking it back, and then there was like a bunch of people who actually like contacted lawyers, and they're like, "Nah, this is just a bunch of like boilerplate stuff, but it's actually still in effect or whatever."
Um, it's more so, they all right, so original OGL got leaked.
Uh
Well,
huh.
OGL
That they were trying to put out.
2.0 or whatever
Yeah.
they want to call it, it got leaked.
Uh huh.
And they didn't want it to go out.
Yeah.
And then they were like, yeah, we rolled a one. We got it wrong. And they made a
Yeah.
few
We
changes
rolled a
to it.
one in our tactical analysis. My bad.
Yeah, like we definitely rolled a one. And then after that, people were still shitting on them. They started to see their subscriber numbers on D&D Beyond go down, and that really, really pushed them up
Mm-hmm.
against the wall because they lost like 40,000 people's subscriptions.
Right.
And yeah, according to BelfastSouls.net, which is a TTRPG and pop culture site,
Uh
they
huh.
do a little bit of journalism on it. Wizards of the Coast announced they will no longer deauthorize OGL 1.0A and have moved to put out even more 5e rules under Creative Commons. In response to overwhelming community feedback, Wizards of the Coast has announced several changes to their plans for a new OGL and 5e rules under Creative Commons. Chief among changes, Wizards of the Coast will no longer pursue deauthorizing the OGL 1.0A, promising to leave it as is untouched. The response comes in facing overwhelming community backlash over the past 3 weeks. The near constant pressure in the form of open letters, petitions, and social media campaigns have finally seemed to make the billion-dollar company listen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, they also put out this they put out like some statistics from what's it called? Uh it was basically a survey on OGL
Right.
1.1 or whatever they were going to do. 88% do not want to publish TTRPG on. All right, 88% do not want to publish TTRPG content under the OGL 1.2. I guess that's what they were calling it.
Mm-hmm.
90% would have to change some aspects of their business to accommodate OGL 1.2. 89% are dissatisfied with deauthorizing OGL 1.0A. 86% are dissatisfied with the draft VTT policy, and 62% are satisfied with including system reference document SDR content in Creative Commons, and the majority of those who were dissatisfied asked for more SRD content in Creative Commons. So basically, release more SRD stuff.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So like the standard boilerplate stuff.
Yeah, standard stuff. Like the base rules.
Gotcha.
Apparently, in the face of those results, Wizards of the Coast made these three changes. One, we're leaving OGL 1.0A in place as is untouched. We are also making the entirety of SRD 5.1 available under Creative Commons license. Three, you can choose which you prefer to use. You can either use the OGL publishing rules or you can use the Creative Commons license to publish your stuff.
Uh huh.
Up to you. So basically, they backed the fuck off. They realized they were in a war they were not going to win with their community,
I mean,
and
that's just
now
a
they're
win for
walking it back.
that's just a win for the little guy. I ain't gonna lie. That's just a big ass common W right there.
That's honestly a big white pill. Though, as you know, I get it. Sometimes I can be very hopeful. Other times, I'm just like, it feels like they're just gonna do it again later.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Like there's always just a chance that they're gonna do it again later,
True.
and
I
that's
agree.
the frustrating part because it's like now the whole community just doesn't trust Wizards. Like that doesn't change the fact that Pathfinder sold, I think they said, an 8 month supply of books in the past 3 weeks.
Hmm. I see.
Like their sales spiked. Like it doesn't change the fact that people are transitioning away from Dungeons and Dragons now. Like you literally just gave a boost to your biggest competitor. for no reason.
I don't think
And
it was no reason. I think they really misunderstood their situation. They were like, "Hey, our people haven't been pretty vocal for the again, for the most part, you know, D&D 3.5 or whatever from the early parts of what they were doing. They didn't have a lot of community like not backlash, community feedback, right? It's just with
mhm.
Critical Role, Dimension 20, and all of these new people who have recently gone into D&D, as with a lot of other niche hobbies, with the COVID and everything and staying a lot of home and whatever, it's just there's a more vocal audience, and so they're getting more feedback. I'm pretty sure that if they tried to push this OGL past, maybe a couple of years ago when they didn't have a lot of content creators or a lot of people with big voices, they probably could have gotten away with it. Let's be completely honest, right?
I mean, yeah, they probably could have because again, like I wouldn't say like a couple years ago. I'd probably say like probably like 20, let's say 2015 was probably the last time they could have gotten away with trying to make this change.
Right, right.
Because nowadays, with people, when it comes to like something people don't like, they can get behind it and actually boycott. Now, this doesn't work a lot of the time when it comes to like major video game releases, major movie releases. Like a lot of the time, those are way too big to fail. But D&D being such a niche hobby as is already, it has the room to fail. I think Wizards thought that they were getting to the space of like we're too big to fail, and that's where we have to, as a community, keep Wizards in place and let them know that hey, you don't thrive unless the community's thriving.
Right, right.
Because sure, you can do whatever you want really when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to your company and your property,
Right.
but that doesn't. You're not guaranteed success with your property at that point if you do something that just offsets the goodwill of the community.
True.
Like it's negatively affected their sales, and you know what's unfortunate? I don't think they're gonna bounce back as well as they think they are. Like just because you decide to make this change, yeah, people are gonna be a lot more cautious of you. People are gonna start making Pathfinder content. People are gonna start looking into other systems, means and masterminds, all that good stuff. They're gonna move away from 5e, and you just spark that. Like it's kind of like they accelerated the growth of their competitors because now the community doesn't fully trust them anymore. Like this doesn't change the fact that you guys just spent 3 weeks, nah, the better part of a month just fucking over your community effectively.
Kind of dog walked them.
Hmm?
No, it's just I think a lot of these companies they have this mentality that if they have a consistent product, so to speak, that people will buy regardless of what they try to put on top of that, right? And this is something that I think is very true for like streaming services as well, right? Like they keep putting away, not putting away, they keep putting out and like publishing all of these like really, for the most part, really garbage entertainment. And at one point or another, people are gonna realize that, and they're gonna try and. I mean, there people are vocal about it now, but I think it's gonna get to a point where, regardless of the company, if you don't give quality products, people are gonna leave, right?
Here's an even better example of that. You've heard about Netflix been talking about ending password sharing, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so Netflix is talking about ending password sharing. It's kind of like, okay, well, yeah, ending password sharing, cool and all, but most people now, they're simply going to just not have a Netflix subscription.
Hmm.
Like they're gonna lose a lot of subscribers over that. Like, sure, they might gain some, but I think they're gonna lose more subscribers than they gain because a lot of people pay for a lot of like my grandpa, he pays for Netflix just so the rest of the family can watch it because he doesn't watch it. He watches regular cable TV,
True, and
but he
I
pays
think
for a Netflix account for everyone.
I think with that, right? I think it is important to note that, like, when it comes to Netflix, I've always had like a bit of an interesting way to speak about it because, for the most part, it sort of makes sense, right? That you wouldn't want, a bunch of people using your product when they haven't paid for it, right? But there's no really like good way to there's no really good way to enforce it, and I think what they're trying to do now just it's a solution, but it's probably one that won't work very well for the most part.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, like it's kind of just that. Like, Wizards of the Coast, great on you for walking it back and sticking with OGL 1.0 and not making those changes that, quite frankly, would have just killed your business. But at the same time, it's like, good for you, dude. Like, you shouldn't have tried this in the first place. So it's not really something we can praise them over. It's just,
I mean,
well,
you can't
listen to your
praise
fan base.
you can't praise them, yes. However, I think it is important to at least point out, hey, people fuck up because we are humans. Humans make mistakes. At least they recognized it and they brought it back, right? Because there are certain companies out there that won't take that time. They're not that self-aware. They're like, oh, this will blow over eventually.
My thing is, they waited 3 weeks to actually make the statement that we're walking it back. Like they waited 3 weeks when they lost 40,000 subs on there. Like, when it started affecting their bottom line, that's the only time they actually decided to walk it back. Had this not affected their bottom line as bad, had like they lost, I don't know, like 5,000 subscribers. Okay, cool, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They probably would have looked at it, was like, okay, I guess that's just the cost of business, and then continue to collect more money off of royalties than they would have off of those subscribers.
True.
But
Very
seeing
true.
the sheer number of subscribers and the knowledge that heck, we push this through, we're going to lose even more because a lot of people were claiming that they wouldn't actually do anything until the change was official.
Right.
Like, that's going to cost them book sales, it's going to cost them subscription sales, it's going to cost them dice sales if people are still buying their dice directly from Wizards. Um, like, it's going to cost them a lot more in the long run. So I guess they just decided, okay, forget it, we're done with this. Now, don't I won't be surprised if something like OGL 1.2 sneaks its way into 1D&D when that's fully released.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not gonna shock me because they it's clear as day that changing probably people probably wouldn't have been as mad if this was the standard from the get go.
Mm-hmm.
If OGL 1.2 was the standard, people probably wouldn't have cared. That would have been just an pre-established thing with the community. But because they try to walk back something that had been great with the community for years, that's when
Right.
they got the most backlash. And I think that's where we go ahead and wrap it up for today. Wilson, you got anything you want to add?
All I would like to say, and I've said this before and I'll say it again multiple times, buy products and services that you believe in that aren't. Th- Here's the thing, right? I understand like luxury items and stuff like that. Just buy things of quality and look at who's selling that to you. Are they of good standing? Buy it. If not, don't chill out for unnecessary reasons, right? Like
Yeah.
I would never argue for doing stuff illegally, right? However, I do believe with all of the streaming services and shit, how bad is piracy?
I,
But
as an emissary of chaos myself,
we've all done it at
I
one
think
point.
piracy is something that's gonna happen regardless. I think that piracy is whatever. I think that if you truly support something and love something, you should go ahead and spend your money towards it.
Exactly.
But if spending your money for it becomes shilling for a company that doesn't give a damn about you, at that point, piracy We're gonna go looking for the One Piece, Wilson.
And
Like,
that's how we'll end
like,
it.
like. Alrighty.
We gotta do the classic YouTuber stuff, Michael. The fuck, you can't just end it like there.
Alright, fine. Alright, guys. If you like the video, subscription if you want to see more from us. And please tell us how we did. Leave a comment. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Stay blessed. And ciao.